Being a rancher is no easy task. Managing livestock, enduring tough weather, and ensuring the farm runs smoothly leave little room for surprises. But for Argentine rancher Juan de Dios Sota, a regular day turned into an extraordinary discovery when he stumbled upon something buried on his land, something that would captivate scientists and the world alike. It all started during a particularly harsh drought in Argentina, when Juan's cows, desperate for water, wandered into the dry bed of the Valamanca River on the edge of his farm near Buenos Aires. Juan, familiar with every inch of his land, set out to bring the cows back, not expecting anything unusual. But while leading them home, he tripped over what he initially thought was just another rock exposed by the parched riverbed. Dusting himself off, Juan noticed the object wasn't like any rock he had seen before. It was round, with a strange honeycomb-like pattern. As he cleared more dirt away, it became clear this wasn't an ordinary find. Intrigued, he called local authorities to inspect it. When the police arrived, they quickly realized they were out of their depth. They contacted paleontologists and archaeologists from Incuapa, a prestigious institute in Argentina. The experts confirmed Juan's suspicions. He had uncovered a fossil. But it wasn't just any fossil. It was the shell of a prehistoric creature. Scientists began excavating the area, and soon unearthed an extraordinary find. Beneath layers of sediment lay not one but 4 massive shells, preserved in astonishing condition. Each shell measured over 10 feet long, and their intricate patterns resembled those of a giant armadillo. They belonged to an extinct creature known as the Glyptodon, a giant armored mammal from the Ice Age. The discovery of 4 Glyptodon shells together was incredibly rare, raising questions about how they ended up buried in the same place. As scientists delved deeper, they uncovered more about the creatures that once roamed the plains of South America and the catastrophic events that might have led to their demise. Juan's find was remarkable not only because of the shell's size and condition, but also because it was highly unusual to discover multiple Glyptodons in one location. These creatures, distant relatives of modern armadillos, roamed the Earth during the Pleistocene epoch, over 10,000 years ago. Glyptodons were massive, weighing up to 2 tons and stretching as long as a small car. Their defining feature was their large, dome-shaped shells made of bony plates called osteoderms, providing them with natural armor against predators. Despite their imposing appearance, Glyptodons were gentle herbivores, grazing on grasses and plants that thrived on South America's open plains. Though their bodies were heavily protected, their heads and tails were more vulnerable. To compensate, many species had club-like tails they could use for defense. These creatures likely lived in herds, much like modern grazers, and spent their days foraging for food. As the excavation progressed, scientists marveled at the exceptional preservation of the shells Juan had unearthed. Buried beneath layers of sediment, the exoskeletons were almost intact, shielded from erosion and decay for millennia. The intricate patterns on the shells provided valuable insights into the anatomy and biology of these prehistoric giants. The mystery deepened when scientists considered how the Glyptodons ended up buried together. It was unlikely they had simply died near one another over time. Instead, their positioning suggested a sudden, catastrophic event. One theory proposed that a rapid climate shift at the end of the Ice Age could have caused severe flooding or drought, trapping the creatures in one area. Another possibility was a mudslide or sedimentary event that quickly buried them, preserving their shells. This wasn't the first time such fossils had been found in Argentina. In 2015, a smaller Glyptodon shell, measuring about 3 feet long, was discovered in a different region. Although its preservation wasn't as remarkable as Juan's find, it bore the same scaly patterns. Similarly, in 2019, fishermen unearthed another Glyptodon fossil in a riverbed. However, neither discovery matched the scale or significance of the 4 shells found on Juan's farm. Scientists now had a unique opportunity to study these creatures in detail, piecing together their story from over 10,000 years ago and shedding light on the dramatic environmental changes that shaped their fate. The discovery of multiple Glyptodon shells together opened a window into the ancient past and raised intriguing questions about these creatures' lives and the events that led to their burial. Scientists theorized that the area near the Valamanca River might have been a significant gathering spot for Glyptodons. It could have been a grazing area or a watering hole where these massive creatures congregated in large numbers. However, the fact that the shells were buried together suggested something sudden and catastrophic. One possibility was a flood, which could have swept the creatures into a low-lying area where they drowned and were buried under layers of mud and sediment. Another theory pointed to a rapid climate shift tied to the end of the Ice Age, a time when South America experienced dramatic environmental changes. This period of warming could have triggered natural disasters like mudslides or sedimentary entrapments that preserved the Glyptodons in their final resting place. The shells themselves were a marvel of natural engineering. Composed of hundreds of interlocking bony plates, they provided the Glyptodon with a formidable defense against predators. Unlike turtles, Glyptodons couldn't retract their heads or limbs fully into their shells, but their sheer size and armored bodies made them nearly invulnerable. Scientists noted that the intricate patterns on the shells from Juan's discovery were particularly well preserved, allowing for detailed analysis of their structure. Glyptodons were an essential part of the Pleistocene ecosystem, sharing their habitat with other Ice Age giants like saber-toothed cats, giant ground sloths, and mastodons. They thrived in South America's plains, which were covered in rich vegetation, providing ample food for these herbivores. But as the Ice Age ended and the climate warmed, the environment changed rapidly. Many large mammals, including the Glyptodon, couldn't adapt to the new conditions and eventually went extinct. Juan's discovery provided a rare glimpse into this ancient world. The exceptional preservation of the shells and the unusual circumstance of their burial offered scientists valuable clues about the challenges these creatures faced. The find also underscored the power of natural forces, such as floods and climate shifts, in shaping the history of life on Earth. For Juan and the local community, the discovery became a source of pride. It highlighted the region's deep historical significance and attracted attention from both scientists and curious visitors eager to learn more about the prehistoric giants that once roamed their land. The discovery of the Glyptodon shells not only captured the imagination of scientists but also emphasized the profound environmental changes that marked the end of the Pleistocene epoch. During this time, the Earth underwent repeated cycles of glacial and interglacial periods, with vast ice sheets covering much of the planet. As the Ice Age came to an end around 10,000 years ago, warming climates led to the retreat of these ice sheets, drastically altering ecosystems and rendering many species, including the Glyptodon, unable to survive. The rapid burial of the Glyptodons on Juan's land hinted at the dramatic natural disasters that accompanied this transition. Floods, landslides, or sudden sedimentation events were common during periods of rapid climate change. These events not only reshaped the landscape but also preserved fossils like those of the Glyptodons, offering a snapshot of life from a world long gone. For scientists, the exceptional preservation of the shells provided a wealth of information. By studying the osteoderms, the bony plates that formed the Glyptodon's shell, they could learn about the anatomy and biology of these prehistoric creatures. The patterns and composition of the plates offered insights into the creature's growth, health, and even their evolutionary adaptations. The discovery also highlighted the interactions between Glyptodons and their environment. These gentle giants were integral to their ecosystem, much like modern grazers. They likely played a role in maintaining the vegetation balance of the plains by foraging on grasses and plants. However, their extinction, along with that of other Ice Age giants, disrupted these ecosystems and marked the end of an era. For Juan, what had started as an ordinary day on his farm turned into a moment of historical significance. His accidental stumble over the shells not only unveiled a remarkable find, but also brought the spotlight to the small community near Rincon de Valle. Scientists and tourists alike flocked to the area, eager to witness the ancient fossils and learn more about the creatures that once roamed the region. The Glyptodon shells served as a tangible connection to the past, bridging the gap between the prehistoric world and modern times. As researchers continue to study the find, they hope to uncover even more secrets about the lives of these fascinating creatures and the forces that led to their extinction. The discovery of the Glyptodon shells became a turning point for understanding not only the creatures themselves but also the environment they inhabited. The exceptional preservation allowed scientists to analyze the intricate details of the shells, which bore marks of adaptation to a challenging and dynamic ecosystem. The large, armored mammals had once thrived on the plains of South America, coexisting with other Ice Age giants. However, as the climate shifted and natural disasters struck, their world changed irreversibly. The idea that these four Glyptodons had died together continued to intrigue scientists. Their proximity and burial in such pristine condition suggested that a sudden and catastrophic event had sealed their fate. Whether it was a flood, a mudslide, or another natural calamity, the event had preserved their remains for over 10,000 years, shielding them from decay and erosion. For Juan de Dios Sota, the accidental discovery transformed his farm into a site of immense historical and scientific value. What had started as a regular day managing his ranch and cows turned into a moment that bridged the present with a prehistoric past. Scientists from Incuapa and beyond worked tirelessly to study the site, uncovering new insights into the lives of Glyptodons and the forces that shaped their extinction. The find also brought pride and excitement to the local community. Visitors, including researchers and tourists, were drawn to the area, eager to see the extraordinary shells and learn about the ancient giants that once roamed their land. For the people near Rincon de Valle, the discovery became a symbol of their connection to the distant past and the enduring mysteries of Earth's history. As scientists continue to examine the Glyptodon shells and their surroundings, their work promises to unlock more secrets about these creatures and their environment. Each discovery adds a piece to the puzzle of life during the Ice Age, offering a deeper understanding of the challenges faced by prehistoric species and the natural forces that have shaped our planet. Juan's extraordinary discovery serves as a reminder of how much there is still to learn about Earth's past and the incredible stories waiting to be unearthed beneath its surface.